And hello. Welcome, everybody. This is the Brenda Sanders Show. Birthday celebration. It's actually being celebrated a week late because I had some health issues that popped up right around the time that we had planned for this to happen, unfortunately. And so everybody will be happy to know that I am feeling quite a bit better. And so I am so happy to be able to do this event, to invite all the wonderful people who are here for this virtual event into this space where I just want to talk about myself and my work and the people who I've been working with and all the amazing things that have been able to get done in the, 11 years or so that I've been engaging in this work. And so so the format is going to be basically just a conversation, talking with some folks who are on different teams that I'm working on different projects that I've been working on over the years. Some really great people. I'm very, very excited to be able to talk to these folks about the work that we've been doing together, about how amazing they are, and also about how amazing I am, obviously. So that was a joke. So I wanted to get started. I wanted to talk with Adam. Adam Weissman is the producer of the Food and Justice podcast, and he just did me a huge solid in working on this podcast with me, because honestly I would not be able to do Food and Justice without Adam. It just would not be able to be possible. There would be no possibility of it happening without his work and his tireless work and support and expertise and connections, networking. I probably don't say these things enough to Adam, but I am so just grateful to be able to have him working on the show, because when Paul McGee-Berry, who is not going to unfortunately be able to be on the show this week, but just this wonderful activist who came to me and with this idea that I would join his campaign, this campaign that he was starting called Defund Big Meat, which clearly needs to happen. And that one component of this campaign, this project, would be a podcast. And then he was like, and we think you would be great to do this podcast. And of course, I just laughed, because I was just like, oh, wow, another thing. No problem. No big deal. You know, I only have like 17 other major projects going on. So why not just add it on to everything else? And but we did. And season 1 was amazing. It was an interesting experience. I learned a lot of new things, new technology, new culture, you know, like just the whole podcast culture I didn't know a whole lot about. And so I think Adam and I have been learning a lot of this together, on the job training kind of thing. I wanted to ask Adam, I have, like, from season 1, I have my favorites, my favorite episodes, and other people have spoken to me about the podcast and told me what their favorite episodes were. Adam, what was your favorite episode? Who was your favorite guest? of all the 9, 10 people who we featured in season 1?
Oh, that's a great question. I think Malik Yakini was really inspiring and insightful and challenging. I thought that was
challenging. Is that because he didn't mince words and he told it like it was? What exactly do you mean by challenging?
I think well, you said it well. I think he made it clear what the work was, what solidarity actually looks like, versus colonizing projects, and really just laid out a vision of both a broader radical vision and a pragmatic plan for and talk about pragmatic actions in the here and now for addressing immediate needs, and how to make the one vital without losing sight of the other at all times. And I think the way that those two things were intertwined, how the work was really inspiring. How they were dealing with immediate issues of food security, while working from within a lens that was critical of capitalism and white supremacy, and working towards a broader anti-capitalist vision.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully everybody who is currently on this broadcast has watched the show. But I mean, if you haven't, like, how could you not at this point? I mean, that just kind of summed it up. I got to interview a couple of my friends. So I interviewed some people who I didn't actually know, but I got to interview a couple of my personal friends, and that was really, really fun for me. And it was gratifying to be able to feature them and to feature their work, because so much of what we are doing as activists just doesn't really get recognized. And we don't do it to be recognized, obviously, or we would be very sad. But when we do have that moment to have the work that we're doing recognized, it's really wonderful. And to be able to create a platform to recognize other people's work is equally wonderful. So people like Dr. Milton Mills, people like Laura Kim Alexander, Marvin Hayes here in Baltimore from the Baltimore Compost Collective, folks like that, that I just know in my everyday life, but I was also able to bring their work onto the platform and show other people. And of course, Dr. Mills is just always so entertaining. And so that is always so fun to work with Milton, and that his interesting filter sometimes that people will probably see today, because I will actually be talking with Milton, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. But yeah, so season 1 is just really great. The purpose of food and justice, and the reason why I even called it Food and Justice, is to just take a deeper look into the food system itself. Because I think that a lot of people, even when you're working in food in some way, folks just don't really have a clear picture of what is going on behind the scenes of the food system itself. And so the show gives me an opportunity to delve into some of those areas of our current food system that people don't necessarily know about, and just uncover some things. And it has uncovered some things. So some of those things are awful. So trigger warning on that. But it's just, I'm of the opinion that it's better to know than to not know. At least I feel that way, for the most part. And sometimes it gets to be a bit much, and has, especially season 2, because we've been delving into even more things that I had no clue about, even more horrible things that are going on within our current food system. So I'm actually pretty excited to launch season 2, which will be happening in about a week. So stay tuned for that. But if you have not had a chance to watch season 1, or if you haven't gotten a chance to watch all of the episodes of season 1, please check it out. It's just really an amazing show. And thank you, Adam, for the part that you play in making food and justice happen. I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Hi, Brenda. I wanted to wish you a very, very, very blessed and happy Earth Light, Earth Strong birthday, Earth Day, all that good stuff. And just say that it has been an extreme pleasure to not only know you, but to build with you and to work with you and to pick your brain about this work, to build and discuss with you about all the possibilities and potentials of framing and moving within the networks and the systems of food justice for our folk. And it's a pleasure, and I'm proud to know you, to have become acquainted with you. And I look forward to working with you and like all the things that will come out of our collective, like just linking up and everybody just, figuring out how we're going to get through this thing and how we can make it work for the betterment of and survival of our people and the animals and the planet. And yeah, so once again, a very, very, very happy birthday to you. And I hope that this year finds you in bliss and abundance. And hopefully you get some rest from all that you do. All right. Love.
Okay.
Hey, there he is. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you? Happy birthday. You look beautiful.
Thank you. And I want to get right. I am so excited about your work in particular. From the Defund Big Meat Project, which I would love for you to speak with folks about, but also just like your work on your anti-dairy work is just so exciting. And so, I just have a very personal stake in that particular work. So I'm so thankful for you and other MDs who are working and fighting the good fight, because dairy gave me the blues growing up. I was miserable. And I just feel for all the children of color who have to experience that and who are basically the victims of systemic racism,
Right.
Dietary racism. And I learned that term from you, dietary racism. So just feel free to go for it, talk about whatever. And I am just happy to have you.
Well, one thing I want to point out is that it's not just children who are being victimized by the dairy industry's unholy alliance with our federal government and their massive gaslighting campaign. And just to give you a snapshot of how effective the dairy industry and lobby have been in gaslighting the nation, if not the world, we all refer to D3 as vitamin D. And it's not a vitamin. It's a hormone that our bodies make when our skin is exposed to the sun. The only reason it started being mislabeled and misnamed a vitamin was when the dairy industry decided that they were going to put it into their products as a way of enticing people to purchase dairy. And so it's important for people to understand that D3 is not normally found in dairy products. It's added by the industry. And they added it and called it a vitamin to sucker people into purchasing their products, to make them think that they were getting something that was especially healthy.
Oh.
And it's anything but. And I have met, a number of adult people of color, African American, who are
So it is just I mean, I don't think anybody will. It's a travesty. It's a monstrosity. It is, you know, anything and think of to realize that this gigantic fraud has been perpetrated on the American public in general, but people of color in particular, to make us think that we food materials, which is, I don't want to call it, we need to consume products that will make us sick for no benefit. And so, let me, if we're talking about this, let's just put it all out on the table. The primary reason it makes for the consumption of dairy products is their alleged calcium content. And they are held up as the way to avoid having your bones become weak and brittle and developing osteoporosis of the day. As they consume dairy, the calcium develops. Well, several things. Number one, dairy calcium has never been shown to strengthen bones or growth. It's the exact opposite. All the population-based studies and the studies looking at individuals know that the dairy a person or native consume is higher on a population basis, the higher the prevalence of osteoporosis in that population. For individuals, the more dairy they consume, the higher their risk of insight. But it gets worse. Because it turns out African American women are genetically protected against getting osteoporosis. Black women do not get osteoporosis, period, unless they have some disease that is causing their bodies to lose calcium. So the government is telling Black women to consume material that is making them ill for not even the theoretical benefit. Let me be clear, it doesn't benefit white women because it's going to weaken their bones, make them actually put calcium so they can absorb the milk. But you don't even have that theoretical benefit when it comes to Black women because they don't do it. And, you know, dairy is the sort of cynical non, as far as I'm concerned, for post-colonization dietary abuses. Because West African civilization did not consume dairy. And as a result, there has been absolutely no genetic adaptation to the consumption of dairy, why it makes it thick and crack. And so we are essentially having this post-colonization habit forced on us that is creating as bowel problems, prostate cancer, breast cancer, cervical, not cervical, but ovarian and testicular cancer, colon cancer, a whole host of problems, type 1 diabetes, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. We are essentially paid sick for no other reason than to put money in the pocket of dairy producers.
And that is, in my opinion, economic pimping of people of color for profit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the first time I've heard you say that. And that is very graphic.
Because it needs to be. It needs to be, yeah. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Or as they say in the hood, it's the TRUFN.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. It's the truth.
Oh dear. Yes. So we need to put this on the
crazy,
internet.
right? So
look.
Just warn your readers.
Yeah, they know.
I mean your listeners, rather.
Yeah. But I mean, this is important information. I did not know. We need to talk. Like, there is some information that you just dropped on this show that I had no idea about. The protection that Black women have, and the adding of the D3 or the vitamin D3.
Right, to entice, right. That's why I try always to call it D3, because it ain't no vitamin. If we were running around butt naked in the sun the way God intended us to, we'd make all the all the D3 that we need. But because we live in Western countries at northern latitudes, and we all dress in clothing so that we won't get arrested, we just don't have enough skin exposed for a long enough period of time to make adequate amounts for ourselves. But that's also true of white people. Studies have shown that Westerners, because again, we're indoors and wearing clothes, all of us are low on our D3 levels. But it is worse in darker skinned people simply because it is harder for us to make our own. It takes more sun exposure. Now, how much D3 should people be taking on a daily basis? I recommend 5,000 IUs for an adult every day. And somebody said, "Ooh, 5,000, that sounds like a lot." No, it's not. First of all, it's a tiny little capsule. And you can get vegan gel caps, because if you don't say vegan, you're going to be getting dead animal slime. And a study that was done on Bushmen, the sand Bushmen living in Southern Africa, showed that from sun exposure alone, because they kind of wear loincloths and run around exposed to the sun, they make 15,000 to 20,000 IUs every single day. So 5,000 is not going to be you're no risk for toxicity, but it's enough to supply your immune system, to supply your brain, and all of the other organ systems that D3 plays a part in, because we now know that D3 is critically important for proper immune function. Early studies on COVID showed that the people who did the worst and ended up either dying or in the ICU were those who had low D3 levels. Why? Because every immune cell in our body has a D3 receptor on it. And if your D3 levels aren't normal, your immune cells, they just can't function properly. D3 also helps reduce the risk for depression, anxiety. It reduces the risk for cancer. Studies in Black men show that we need more D3 to help ward off prostate cancer for us. And talk about messed up research. Early studies looking at the role of D3 in preventing prostate cancer looked at white men. And what they found was that it wasn't important in white men. So they concluded it ain't important for nobody.
Wow.
But after they went back and looked at that data again and did different studies, they found that Black men, D3 is definitely important in helping to increase our resistance to prostate cancer. But again, if you think about it from a evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense. White populations moved up north where they had less exposure to the sun. Therefore, D3 would naturally become less important in their overall immune function. But for people who are, out in equatorial Africa, we're making tons of it. So our body gets used to having it around and depends on it. And when it's not there, it puts us at higher risk for disease. So
we gotta do a whole show about this. So
absolutely.
I'm gonna have my people call your people. And because
wait, which means you're just gonna give me a call, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Price usual attack, no, not
right.
But yeah, just really quickly, because I do have all these other guests, and it is it's getting late.
I know, and we could go on forever.
We could. Why do we need to defund big meat?
We need to defund big meat because big meat is a big killer, and it is destroying our health. It is destroying the environment, and it is needlessly abusing animals. And the in fact, I put a post on my Facebook page today because people out here running around talking this hoo-ha about plants have feelings. and if you're vegan, you're hurting plants. I'm like, okay, let's run with that. If you believe plants have feelings, then you definitely need to decide you're either going to be vegan or commit suicide. Because when you eat meat, you're destroying 20 times the amount of plants you do when you eat them directly. So if you really believe plants have feelings, you best come over to the vegan side or jump off a bridge. Okay, those are your choices.
But, please don't jump off the bridge.
No, there's plenty of room over here, but I'm just tired of people talking nonsense, and I'm not having it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
So, but big meat is like I said, it is creating illness in not only our community but in the population in general. All of the major killers in this country are directly related to the consumption of meat and animal products. Because human beings are not designed to eat meat. Now, that's a whole nother helpline, and we can talk about that someday.
It is.
But we are clearly a plant-based species. All of the research shows that the closer we get to being fully plant-based, the longer we live, the fewer chronic diseases we have, and the lower our risk for dementia. So there really is no reason to consume animal tissue except brainwashing. Because, people, Dr. Mills, but I like. And I ask them, so did you have a conversation with your obstetrician when you were born? And they look at me like, don't be stupid. And I'm like, no, don't you be stupid. Because my point is this. When you were born without any preferences whatsoever. Everything you think you like, somebody taught you to like. And so why are you going to hold on to a dysfunctional habit that is destroying your health, setting your children up for a lifetime of misery and disease, killing the planet, and needlessly abusing innocent creatures? I mean, what is the point of that? Who told human beings that pleasure in life has to be predicated on the abuse and suffering of someone else? I mean, that is a sick idea. It's a Western idea. It's not one that you find in African populations or even in New World populations, but it's very Western. But it's sick, it's evil, and we need to reject it. We need to embrace a lifestyle that sees this planet as a spaceship that was put here for all of us, and that has room enough for all of us, that can sustain all of us if we approach our lives in the way we're supposed to. And we need to start by defunding a big meat, which is only creating ill health, early death, and a messed up environment.
Right. Thank you so much. So defundbigmeat.com, is that where people can find out more information about
Yes,
this
ma'am.
thing? Yeah, we need support. We need people on board. We need signatures. We need, people making phone calls, emails. We need to do something about all these subsidies and all this support that Big Meat has. And so if you want to find out more information, and you do, about Defund Big Meat, go to the website. You can also, we're going to be doing a whole nother show, Milton. So I'll be in touch with you about that.
Last statement, if we took all the money we are throwing away on subsidies for the meat and dairy industry and put them into providing education and healthcare for the people of this nation, we could solve all of our problems overnight. And that is the God's honest truth. The economics are absolutely there. We need to stop creating unnecessary disease. And then just one last little statement, because there's undoubtedly somebody out there saying, yeah, I know Dr. Mills, but I still love my fried chicken. Look at that fried chicken like you looked at your first girlfriend or boyfriend, one you thought you couldn't live without until they did something stupid. And you said, what am I with this fool? And you kicked him to the curb, you got over him, and now you with somebody else. So let's do the same thing with our diet. Let's get something else, okay?
Okay. Right. You said it all. Thank you so much, Dr. Milton Mills, MD. It's always
my pleasure, and happy birthday. And thank you for being you and providing this forum for enlightenment, for community enrichment, and just always being there for our people, for our community, and literally, truly making this world a better place.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey Brenda, happy birthday and Veganniversary. I'm supposed to introduce myself, so Dawn Moncrief with A Well-Fed World. Just chiming in, I'm sure one of many people sending you some birthday wishes, and I know you're gonna hear all the same words. One of them will certainly be inspiration, so I just wanted to focus on that and say thank you for all the inspiration, not just because of your dedication and hard work, but just also how much you care and how deeply you think about things. I've learned so much through all the years, which I think is a decade now. So anyway, it's been great to know you and be a better person because of you. So I can't wait to see you in real life someday soon, hopefully not too long, and happy birthday. Big hugs. Bye.
Hello, John, Navarre, and Kyle Harvey. These two gentlemen are two of the collective members of the Greener Kitchen, which is an interesting project. Woo, that's one word. An interesting project that actually started from peer pressure. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there because, you know, there was a big group of us that have been doing all this activism at our community center at Thrive Baltimore, and also, you know, some other big stuff we had been doing, like mac and cheese competitions and, you know, like marketplaces and all this stuff. And we would always make like amazing food whenever we had one of these events, but it was only available when we had the event. And so every time we did these events and we would have this amazing food, which oftentimes we gave away for free because we're like pushers. We understand that, like, you know, in order to hook people in, you gotta give them what they want. And what they wanted was delicious plant-based food. But you know, every time these folks were like, "Oh, well, you gotta get a storefront. You gotta wait. Where's your store? When you gonna have a restaurant? Oh, you know, it's only fair. It's only right that you make these foods available all the time." And initially, we were just kind of like, "Nah, that's not our thing." But as more people within marginalized communities started to express this idea that these foods were just not available in their communities, then it became like, oh, well, okay, well, that's different. And so we just did it. We took the plunge. I am in awe of these two gentlemen because after a certain point, it was just so much. It was just so much, and you know, with everything else that I had going on, I kind of just left them. I don't know, how would you all describe? I mean, y'all. I tip my hat to both of you because the Greener Kitchen started out as like this sort of pet project and then turned into this phenomenon. And I think that there are a lot of folks here in the Baltimore community who would attest to that.
Well, you definitely didn't leave us hanging. There was a lot of work that all of us had, including you. Running social media, doing a whole promotions department, one person. I mean, it's a lot of hats that you were wearing, same as us. But it certainly was a huge endeavor. Kyle, do you want to start off talking about some of our work?
Sure. And yeah, I would second what John was saying. You didn't leave us hanging so much as hold down the fort on literally everything else that we were doing while we went ahead and worked on the restaurant. But yeah, it was a really great exercise in bringing food to people and really just digging down and just making a ton of vegan food, tens of thousands of vegan sandwiches and sides and pizzas, name it. And people really responded to that, and it was wonderful. And it was all we had time to do, like all the time, like 150% of the time available.
Making everything from scratch, pretty much, even our condiments.
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, even the condiments. Yeah, and what we ended up experiencing was, was people call it mission creep, but it definitely is the description of that, because it, we set about to change the food system from the supply end onwards, and I think we did some good work in that regard. But the restaurant definitely just took everything to the next level and then took over.
Yeah, for a project that was supposed to be kind of a companion support to our community center, and ended up kind of taking our entire focus and time at the expense of the community center. And on the other hand, that did create a lot of meaningful opportunities and exchanges in terms of talking about plant-based diets and veganism and animal rights, and just having a sense of stewardship or caring about our impact and connection to that. But it was all centered around the realities of a business and keeping that going. And so it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of work. And we did it through a pandemic. We did it through the advent and normalization of delivery services like DoorDash and Grubhub. That's a whole kind of complex thing to talk about in terms of how that affects margins. And I think that it's still built a lot that shows, and that we are continuing forward from.
Yeah, I people may have noticed that we are talking about things in the past tense, and it's not as bad as it sounds, because the Green Kitchen does still exist. We are sort of pivoting, so we kind of got to a point where, like the guys were saying, it just kind of took over, and we, and I'll just speak for myself, I found myself moving further and further and further away from the original mission. I mean, we went from, we have to bring this this delicious plant-based food to people in communities that don't normally have access to it. We have to make it affordable. We have to, we went from that to like, okay, we have to hire some people. We have to like, okay, well, what about, do we need to raise our prices so that we can, afford to pay people benefits, or like, should we not pay quite as much so that we don't have to raise our prices for the $5 cheesesteak? It got to a point where we had to make all these decisions that were sort of not in line with our original mission. And it really got to a point. And at one point, there were like 20 different restaurants in the Baltimore area that were purchasing our product line wholesale, so that they could expand their vegan options in their restaurants. So we had vegan restaurants that were purchasing our products, our meats, our cheeses, our spreads and mayos, that again, we were making in-house. And when I say we, I obviously don't mean, but that the guys were making like in-house all that labor, like, damaging our bodies, and just like, there were a couple of emergency room like trips. I mean, it's not all the people.
We don't speak of those.
Yeah, we don't talk about those. But all the people who are like, yeah, I can't wait to open a restaurant. Just text me. Just don't do it yet. Just we need to talk, because it's just not a game. It is not a game. And so when I say that the Green Kitchen is pivoting, we are taking our show on the road. We still believe that plant-based food should be affordable, but we've learned a lot about what it takes to make plant-based food affordable. First of all, you have to give a crap about whether or not everybody should be able to have plant-based food, right? And then you have to do what it takes to make that happen, and it takes a lot of thought and a lot of consideration, and a lot of a lot of knowledge, gaining knowledge, and so we did it, and we're going to continue to do it. We're going to continue to bring this food to the people, but we're going to do it on the road. And so we've already started our tour. It actually started in North Carolina. Was it last month? I don't know. But so we've been.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we have been doing festivals. We plan to do some pop-ups. just like events around the country, actually. And so if anybody wants to just kind of follow us and see and see where we're going to be, you can go to the Greener Kitchen. What is it, Kyle? What's our website?
TheGreenerKitchen.com.
TheGreenerKitchen.com, and we don't have the full schedule posted yet, right? But we will soon.
We will.
And for the locals here in Baltimore, we will definitely be at Soulfest in there. We'll get to
Yes, Vegan Soulfest. Yes, we're going to actually be talking about Vegan Soulfest with Naijha soon, and Naijha actually has to go soon. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on, for showing your wonderful faces and letting people know that you actually do exist. You've just been in the background, just like doing the work this whole time, just needing.
Someone's got to make the pizzas.
Yeah, exactly. Like making cheesesteaks and but this is
churning mayo.
Yes, churning mayo, right? And speaking of the mayo, we're still smart. So we do recognize that the plant-based food industry is a growing industry that is expanding and really exploding. That there are like literally celebrities every other day that are investing in plant-based food companies. So we did start a line of plant-based foods that we are like we're trying to get into food service because again we're all about changing the food system. So our focus is going to be a lot on food service. The company is called Bliss, and it's just good food. So somebody text Beyonce and let her know that the next great plant-based food company is Bliss, and that she's definitely going to want to go ahead and invest in that. So
yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. That's what's coming up next for us. Our tour, which has already started, and then we'll be focusing on getting the specialty line, plant-based food line out to the people. So thank you guys so much for
being here. Thank you, Brenda. Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I appreciate you both. The Greener Kitchen and Plant Bliss in the house.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Priyanka the Naik, aka the Veg Doc. I just wanted to wish Brenda a very happy 25th Veganniversary, as well as a happy birthday. I'll never forget the first time we met was at Atlanta Veg Fest. We were both speakers, but I made the interaction super awkward because I was fangirling all over you, Brenda. So my apologies for that. I just want to say I'm super blessed to have you in my life and to consider you a friend. You are such a generous, open-hearted, kind person, and I am hoping that as our friendship develops, you will divulge the secrets to time travel, because as best I can tell, it is the only explanation for how you have been able to accomplish all of the things that you have been able to accomplish already. Happy birthday, happy Veganniversary.
Naijha Wright-Brown in the house with the Vegan Soulfest hat on. Yes.
Oh, it's on and popping.
Oh, and the shirt. What?
On and popping.
Oh my gosh.
On and popping.
Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. Like, welcome. Thank you. I know you're so busy. Thank you so much for being on the show and for being here for me, with this celebration of life and veganism. I appreciate you.
Of course, man. I was, just patiently waiting, because we got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time. Why y'all just giving me like 9 minutes? That's not enough to talk about.
No.
More Vegan Soulfest. So.
No, we need a whole show, really, honestly. So yeah, Vegan Soulfest. And for anybody who doesn't know our history, Naijha Wright-Brown and my history, we got together one day in her restaurant, the land of Kush, and we're just talking about the fact that we have been vegan for years, the benefits to our lives, that just like living this way was having. And then we just started talking about like, what could we do? what can we do together? How can we collaborate? Because Naijha, you're all about collaboration, and I just respect that about you so much. A lot of times I get so tunnel vision, I don't even remember that other people exist. But you are all about networking, connecting, you know, just like collaborating and partnering with people. And so she said, hey, what can we do? Now, the story, you know, kind of gets a little bit, there's some, you know, contradictions, because Naijha says it was her idea for us to do a festival. I say it was my idea for us to do a festival. We might just have to meet in the middle.
No, it was our idea. It was our idea. Right. We was fighting about the brand name.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It was our idea to come up with the festival.
All right. So we both had this idea to do a festival. I mean, because what better thing to do? I mean, it's fun. It's, you know, it's music. It's education. It's, you know, vendors and information. It's all the things that we both are very passionate about. And so we just decided, hey, let's do it. Neither one of us had done a festival. That's the thing about me. That's the thing about the folks who I work with. It's just like we just believe in ourselves and in each other.
Baby, yes. Black magic.
It's just like neither one of us had ever done this, but we were just like, okay, let's do it. And Naijha, how many months later did Vegan Soulfest happen?
4
months.
Was a nice June 4. It probably was like 3.5.
You
we
know,
were talking, you wanted to do a conference and you was trying to get some free food for Land of Kush to cater this big conference, and you know, forget the conference, let's do the fest. We said, I don't know how that happened, but you just threw the conference out the window.
Yeah, I mean, a conference festival.
Yeah. I know, it's like the same day, you know, it's just more of a party out in the, you know, so.
Exactly. So
3.5 months.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. Anybody who, I know I probably have some folks on here who, you know, organize festivals or organize these large scale events. That was impressive. And the first Vegan Soulfest, which was in 2014, we were expecting maybe 300-400 people. 1,200 people came out. Like we were bursting out of the the venue. We were not expecting that, especially in Baltimore. We just didn't know that the interest was here and the support was here, and you know, the passion and excitement. You know, we just didn't know. We found out very soon.
Brenda, we thought there was going to be 30 vendors. Really, because the venue held about 30 vendors or something like that. And
we had to put them on the street.
Close to 90 signed up.
80 something, yeah.
That's when we really learned, like, how we didn't even know what to do with permitting whatever. We was just trying to figure. I think we forgot to call traffic or somebody, and you know, and then the police showed up. But we did talk to the Major X. I remember that, man. We did call you, and the police still came down and tried to shut us down. You know, lucky council people were in effect. Shout out to the council people who supported us. But
we've gotten support each year. It really has been difficult for both of us. I think that we haven't been able to do Vegan Soulfest for the last 2 years, and it's especially been difficult for our attendees, you know, who've been there with us from the beginning, since 2014 and on, because they've just been like, what's going on? Like, we missed Soulfest. Where is Soulfest? And so Naijha and I decided this year, we knew that neither one of us had the time to really just organize it ourselves, because an enormous amount of work goes into Vegan Soulfest. And so we, you know, kind of put it out there like, hey, can anybody help us? And so we have some help and support with organizing the festival this year, but it's still a lot. You know, it's still, we had to make up for 2 years of just not being able to do the festival. You know, COVID just threw everything off kilter. But we decided that we would, you know, not just bring Soulfest back this year, but that we would expand it and make it bigger. And that's so audacious, Naijha.
I will say that was your idea. I will give you credit for that. Now, we know that the music component of Vegan Soulfest is what brought people out, but people did come to see lectures and cooking demos. But there was a certain spirit, a certain energy with folks and the music, our DJ,
Yes.
and the inaugural year, just a DJ on the corner playing music. People loved that. And so when we came out the second year and got the DJ and performing artists, then it really evolved into this thing. So like, why not? Like, you know, we're moving from Baltimore's vegan festival or new food festival, as was coined in 2014, to the new vegan food and music festival.
Yes.
And that's how it's going down in August. And
Yes.
if you ain't there, then
I love it.
you're
Love
gonna miss out. So that's just what's going on this year, and I'm so excited. And partnering, you know, Brenda says we're tunnel vision. It was just about, you know, Vegan Soulfest and doing what we had to do for our organizations and the community of vendors, vegan and veg friendly vendors. But now we really got to step out and represent our community. And I think bringing in none other than collectively, like, it couldn't have been a better partnership by bringing them on, because they're really giving back to Black. And that's what we want to do. We want to give back to Black and recognized organizations and change makers such as ourselves, individually and collectively. So we're looking for the community support, not just the community locally. We're talking about statewide, regionally, looking for support of this year's 7th annual Vegan Soulfest. We Give Black Best. August 19th to the 21st, vegansoulfest.com, vegansoulfest.com. You better get those tickets, because as we continue to announce artists and stuff,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta support, really.
we have national recording artists this year. We have, you know, some really great vegan speakers and some vegan chefs. The lineup is just phenomenal. It really is. So people, you don't want to miss it. 3 whole days of just education, support, resources, music, and the best vegan food you have ever had. So you don't want to miss it.
And a whole nother experience, you know, for those of you that are on the VIP experientials.
Oh,
We're gonna have all of that, something we've never done before. So if you want to feel extra special and catered to, and you a high roller, big baller, yes, we're gonna have that for you too.
Yeah, we are going to have a curated VIP experience. I personally plan to be in the VIP. I don't know about you, Naijha.
You don't have to do anything. I don't have to do any work this year. I mean, she's talking about not having any time. It wasn't just any time. It's the energy. Like, we've been busting our butts since,
Yes.
I know Kush has been open over 11 years. With over 11 years. And, you know, with the nonprofit Black Business Society, we've been operating since 2015, just busting it out with events and programs. I'm tired, okay? I'm 50, y'all. I'm not scared to tell. I'm 50 years old, and I'm trying to retire and relax and just chill out. So I'll be doing that at this year's Vegan Soulfest, August 19th to the 21st, vegansoulfest.com.
Thank you, Naijha. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to organizing this festival, to go into this festival with you this year and getting to enjoy it this time. So Naijha Wright-Brown, the land of Kush, Black Business Society, Vegan Soulfest, Naijha Speaks, just out here doing the good work. Thank you so much.
NaijhaSpeaks.com, don't forget it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, love you. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Hi, this is Pattrice Jones at Vine Sanctuary, an LGBTQ-led farmed animal sanctuary that's always excited to be in solidarity with any project that Brenda Sanders initiates or helps to organize. Everybody here at the sanctuary both respects and feels affection for Brenda. And I want to say personally, Brenda, I'm so glad that I know you. I'm always happy when I see you. I'm always delighted when your number pops up on my phone because you want to chat. And I'm just so glad that you exist. So I personally and everybody here at Vine Sanctuary wishes you a very happy birthday and a very happy vegan anniversary.
We got here today some of my favorite people on the planet. And I'm not saying that anybody else who I've already talked to isn't like amazing, because everybody who is going to be on here today is amazing. However, this group of women is just like, I mean, just my saving grace. I, you know, like I was saying before, I've had some health challenges, and it's been difficult because, you know, this work is so demanding, you know, and with me having so many different projects that I'm working on at any given time, it just has been, I mean, it would have been impossible to keep Afro-Vegan Society going at the like level that Afro-Vegan Society is currently operating without just the most amazing people doing this work. And so I just have to keep it real. Like, everybody has sort of come in at different times. I mean, Jamila is, you know, from back in the day, right? So, so Jamila started out with Afro-Vegan Society, and so has seen a lot of the transformation and, you know, transition, because Afro-Vegan Society initially was doing a lot more like community-based work back when people were allowed to be around each other, and it was nice. It was I love community-based activism. I love being like in the community with the people. But when COVID hit, I had a decision to make about whether or not, you know, Afro-Vegan Society was going to just kind of go on hiatus, or sort of pivot, like, you know, like move in a different direction. And I talked to Jamila, I talked to Jessica Carter, aka Jess C, and about the possibility of bringing Afro-Vegan Society into a virtual space. Both of them were like completely cool with it, completely down. Both have just been such a blessing for the last couple years. And then, you know, other folks started to come in, and I've just been really, really fortunate to be able to bring so many talented, hardworking, passionate, wonderful people together in the same space. Like, how did I get this lucky? And so I just wanted to go through and just give you all an opportunity to just, I don't know, just talk about, just like say who you are, and just talk about the aspect of this work that that means a lot to you. Like, what moves you about this work that we are able to do. And I will start. So because I'm just kind of like springing this question on. I didn't even like give them prior warning, like, oh, this is the question I'm going to ask, because I just came off the top of my head, honestly. But I would say that the beauty for me of Afro-Vegan Society, you know, Jamila was at an event back in the day. It was a conference. It will remain unnamed. But I will just say that people gave her and the other folks who were tabling, I think actually, was Jasmine here? Oh my God, Jasmine was volunteering at the time. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe you work with us, Jasmine. Like, you were just like volunteering your time at that time. But apparently these people were walking up and just being like, why would there need to be an Afro-Vegan Society? What does veganism have to do with race? You know, and just basically invalidating everything that we were trying to do. I wasn't there. I was a speaker at the event, because had I been there, it would have been a whole different event. Because like, I don't have decorum. I say like it would have been bad. It's all I'm saying. Like, if I had heard somebody came up and asked about chicken, somebody was like, I thought Black people eat a lot of chicken. You know, it was so bad at this event that they started writing down the awful things that people were saying. Because I don't know if it was just like, we need to document this, or like nobody's gonna believe us. I don't know what it was, Jamila. I'm so sorry. But but you know, for me, Afro-Vegan Society is this beautiful opportunity for me to make a difference specifically within communities where there are all these challenges that living vegan can solve or can address, right? And so everything from, you know, environmental racism to health disparities to, you know, just like, I don't know, learning about environmental, like climate change issues and things around that. And just things that when you're just living day to day, you know, we are working, our goal is to work at the furthest margins, right? So not even just, you know, Black people, people of color, but like there's a lot of Black people and people of color who like shop at Whole Foods every week, you know, because they just have access to information. They have access to, you know, money. They have access to the means to make these kinds of huge transformations in their lives. But we're going even further and saying, hey, what if you don't have this information? Then how can we get it to you? And so that's what's important to me, that we're able to take this information that has been so beneficial to all of our lives, and we can get this information to the folks who not only need it the most, and you know, and will benefit from it the most, but are the most likely to not have access to it. So that was a lot of words for me to just say that this work is very, very important to me. So if anybody else wanted to just kind of share, you know, how you feel about this work, why it's important to you, please introduce yourself to the people and then let them know.
Okay, I'll probably start. So I'm Jamila Alfred. I'm the marketing director of Afro-Vegan Society. And as Brenda said before, I've been there from the beginning. So I've seen how we transformed. And honestly, Brenda has known me since I was a little early 20-year-old. Basically. So she's known me through my whole 20s. So I really feel like seeing this work almost transform. We're really trying to meet people where they are. We're really trying to connect with the community. We're not just in it for any type of like clout or attention or any of that type of stuff. We really want to see people win with this lifestyle. And I love it so much because it not only speaks to my own type of passions and interests and all those types of things, but we're out here helping people, offering people resources, entertainment, engagement. Like, we really are in it for the community, and that's always going to be the beauty of Afro-Vegan Society. And I can go on and on, but y'all feel me. It's I mean, AVS is bomb.
Yeah.
Like, plain and simple.
It is. Thank you for that. Who's next?
Well, I can piggyback.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh? Go ahead, Jessica. Okay, I'll go. Well, hello. Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off that. My name is Jessica Sanders, and I am the Community Engagement Principal. Not at all. We always get that. Same last name, no relation. So for me, I was an admirer of ABS. So I moved to Baltimore some years ago. And of course, being a Black vegan, just getting into the community, I had heard of Afro-Vegan Society. So I started off volunteering as well, and that's how I got on board with ABS. And just to know that there's an organization that, first of all, is Afro-Vegan, so it aligns with me just being a Black vegan, a Black woman in the vegan community, and to know that they do so much work to help others transition into veganism, learn about veganism, learn about the culture of it all. It's just something that I've always wanted to be a part of. So I'm so glad that, I'm with the team. And, our mission statement, if you haven't read it, I suggest go to abs.org and
Afro-Vegan-Society.org. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. I always hack, ABS to shorten it, but Afro-Vegan-Society.org. I mean, and I feel like we encompass that, every day with work that we do. So, yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Jessica.
Of course, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Jazzy.
Hi, Jasmine. And I have to say, I've been blessed to be able to watch ABS grow and then I've seen it in many different stages. First off, as a recipient of the work that AVS has done. Next as a volunteer, and now as a staff member, and just watching go from, as Brenda was saying earlier, it started off more like a community event space, now transitioning into a national organization. It's just mind-blowing, just being able to watch, the organization reach so many people now through our virtual programming, through our resources on our website. It's just amazing to watch the transition. So.
Absolutely, and it's amazing to have you be a part of it as well. So thank you so much. All right, who's next?
I can hop in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm Jessica, and I am the director of programming at Afro-Vegan Society. I joined the team in May 2022, and for
whoa, May
2020.
Get it right.
Years. All these future years were in. Yeah, so it's been just over 2 years, and for me, I had my background, like I studied African American Studies as an undergrad. I worked in higher education access, and all the work that I really did, like as a young adult, really focused on, wanting to serve my community and seeing how can we improve our quality of life here in the U.S. and how can we have access to the resources that we need. And the more I did the work, the more that I saw that it came really down to like the fundamentals, like the day-to-day choices, the day-to-day access, like the day-to-day environment that really, really, really impacts, the chances that someone really has to create their own reality moving forward. And so having the opportunity to work with Afro-Vegan Society now is amazing, because having also worked at an animal rights organization, it's just refreshing to come to this organization and do this work and speak from a place of sincerity, to speak directly to our population, understanding those needs, not having to filter them through other voices or other lenses, but to be who we are up front and connect with our people in a real, genuine way, and to see how receptive our community is to that work, and then also to explore new ways that we can get the message out further and further, because, it doesn't really take all that much convincing. Our community, Black Americans, are the fastest growing population of vegans, in this country. And so we are ready. We're hungry for this knowledge, and we're hungry for these resources, and we're hungry for access. We want to improve our lives every day. So it's an amazing opportunity to work in this organization that's doing this groundbreaking work. So thank you for your leadership in the creation of this organization.
Thank you. I felt so fortunate to be able to snag Jessica Carter. Like I don't even know if I could like put into words what it's like to work with Jessica Carter. Just knowing that, like, if Jess says that it's gonna get done, it's gonna get done. Like, that means something to me, especially like when I'm having these health issues and I may not necessarily be able to be everywhere all at once. It's just like knowing that there are people who, they got it, and like Jess got it. So just in case y'all were wondering, she got it. So, and last but certainly not least.
Certainly not. Peace. My name is Brett. I am the operations director with Afro-Vegan Society. I'm sitting, so I'm not going to stand on my soapbox, but I guess my path here to this group, I feel that I've always felt that if you have a blessing of wealth, that your path won't lead to abundance unless you share the wealth. And I'm not just talking about financial, I'm talking about educational, any type of resources. You can't be blessed with anything that enriches your life and not share it. I mean, you can, but then your life just becomes up. But so I've always been like that. Any type of resources that I had, any type of wealth of life, like I've just had to share it just to enrich, because if I'm going to shine, it's lonely if no one else is shining with me. And there are so many things that are affecting Black Americans right now. We're dying off. There's so many threats. and just having the ability to share one resource that can help the people. And, you know, through how sharing information, like, okay, you know, if you're transitioning, if you're trying to transition, if you're trying to find some type of way just to stay alive an additional day that you can have control over. Because when you walk outside, who knows what's going to happen? But if you can have control of something in your life, and it can start in your kitchen, then if I have that information, I can't not share it. And so I've been on that walk of life, and I met up with Brenda just through advocacy in the community, the festival. So, you know, working through with the festival, I just wanted to volunteer just to be a part of it. I had transitioned through a program, and then I was like, wow, this is so great. You know, I feel great transitioning to veganism. You know, this is great. All my health numbers came back. I'm just like, I have to share this with people, and I want to be a part of whatever is working around the community to get into that. So that's how I met with Brenda, because obviously she's in the streets getting this work done. So kind of been, you know, trailing along ever since on the coattails, like, what you got going on? Okay, I'm going to get on it too, because that sounds great. So any type of activism, you know, it was great to jump on board. And so coming across the Afro-Vegan Society, it was like it was all of me in a package. Like what I supported in my own life and my own lifestyle, and what I would like practice and preach, it was that in the package. And so it just made sense to be a part of it, because it totally aligned with everything that I supported. Being a resource, helping the people, sharing information, connecting with people, shining light on what's important, or one of the things that's important, to make sure that we're doing our best, or at least trying to thrive in some way, shape, or form. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And no one really knows me, but you know, I stand behind. If I didn't support the mission of this organization, like I wouldn't be here. So I'm here to give it 110% day in, day out, because again, I support the message. I support the mission. So I'm back behind it, and I'm here, and I'm happy.
And you do. I would say you probably give about 150%, but you know, you being humble, I get it. And honestly, like all of you, thank you so much for being a part of this program, for being a part of Afro-Vegan Society, and also just being a part of my life. I mean, I just care so deeply for all of you, and I just feel so blessed to have you be a part of this work and a part of my life. So thank you all so much. If folks want to see more of these beautiful women, there's like constantly, like, are you following Afro-Vegan Society, like on social media, on YouTube? Like, there is so much stuff, and there's going to be so much more stuff. Like the ideas that have been coming through, you know, these brainstorming sessions and stuff, like not only just the stuff that we're already doing, like, you know, the National Afro-Vegan Conference, it's still going to be virtual, but it is coming up this year, and, you know, just a lot of the one-off programming that we do, but we also are going to have an activist training program that's coming up, because we just, like, that's the next step. Like, where we've helped, I probably have, I mean, just tens of thousands of people. I don't know. I didn't count. But just a whole lot of people, you know, have gone through different programming and, you know, and workshops and classes and all of that. But the thing is, like, there are a lot of people who want to do this kind of activism in their community. They don't know where to start. They were calling us up and, you know, and emailing us and texting us like, hey, like, I want to do what you do, but I don't know where to start. Well, guess what? You're about to find out. So we're about to launch an activist training program. But we also have like some fun, like, exciting other stuff. I'm not even going to like let the cat out. Do we want a cat in the bag? No. I'm not going to spill the beans. We're just gonna let you find out, but I'm talking like fun, like the kind of stuff that people get excited about, like, you know, competitions and like all kind of, okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But like some really fun stuff coming up around veganism, vegan living, plant-based eating, we're all very excited. And I also want to say thank you to those who do support Afro-Vegan Society. We have folks, we have foundations that give us support. We have other nonprofits that give us support. We also have individuals who just like send us money. And if any of you are on here, I just want to say thank you. There's somebody who just like anonymously sends us money every single month. I don't even know who you are, but if you're on here, thank you so much. We just appreciate it. We could not do the work that we're able to do without the support that is given to us. Afrovegansociety.org. There's a donate button, whatever you have. If you don't have, monetary resources, maybe you can give us, some other kind of resources. We have our restaurant, our Black vegan restaurant list. Maybe you could contribute to that, or just like volunteer and help us out with some stuff. There's always work that needs to be done, and we appreciate all of the support that we get from folks. And I so appreciate all of you. I know it's late, and everybody's been waiting, and we're almost ready to wrap things up, but thank you all so much for your patience and for being here for me during my birthday celebration and my Veganniversary. I couldn't think of anybody better to share this time with.
Thank you, Brenda. Love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Happy birthday, Veganniversary.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. I made another year, y'all. What now?
This is Carol Adams, the author of The Sexual Politics of Meat, wishing Brenda Sanders a happy birthday and a happy vegan anniversary from Texas, where even the bells are singing out in praise of your vision, your sense of community, your commitment to justice, and your incredible vegan practice and praxis. Your friendship comforts me, your vegan vision nourishes all of us, and this commitment for justice is walking the path with us towards a brighter future. Thank you for all of it. Let the bells sound.
Happy birthday, happy Veganniversary.
Thank you. It's quite a milestone. I know I have these people in my life who have, they went vegan so many, like they just look at my little 25 years and they're like, oh, so cute. But I think it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a big deal. I wish I could remember back when I became vegan, but I think it's always a big deal. And it's always a good reason to celebrate you. And you do look beautiful. So
thank you.
A great thing. It's great to see you. So you wanted me to come on to talk about your other thing that you do, which is write, right?
I do write, and I don't think people believe me. And so I figured, you are a learned person. that people, you've read something that I wrote, and that you could just talk about it and people will believe you. Because how could anybody believe that with all this other stuff that I would have any time at all?
It's true. It's kind of amazing, but I think what I want to say, so the book that you've written the opening chapter for, because you are just what we heard tonight. I mean, a model of quote unquote effectiveness, but of course, let me say a little bit about what the book is and why you're the first author in the book, because it's a critique of a movement called effective altruism. And it's pretty much a movement that it got started by a bunch of white guys, essentially, that thought they could tell people how to be activists and and tell funders how to spend the money. And one of the things that they really get wrong, and the book is a critique of these folks, one of the things they get wrong is what they think of as effective. And if you watched this program just now, you have a model of effectiveness right here. And Brenda wrote a brilliant, powerful, really meaningful chapter. And I wanted you to just say a little bit about your view of effectiveness, because my goodness, you are so effective. I wish I knew Beyonce because I wanted this plant Bliss, man. I really want this plant Bliss to go. I'll get my people on it. They're not like Beyonce, but I know some folks.
Well, yeah, so as I was hearing about, and I was very tunnel vision, and I've been very tunnel vision with this work from the time that it started in 2011. And I was an activist way before that. I just didn't know that I was an activist. I've been an activist since I was 5 years old. But, you know, I started like going out and trying to do my part to make things better about 11 years ago. And I pretty much just focused on that. I didn't know that there was this whole movement. Until years into actually doing this community-based activism. And I was thrilled. I was like, wow, there's a whole like vegan movement. And, you know, and then I was starting to look at animals differently and starting to see animals as individuals, which was never a thing in my upbringing and in any part of my life. And so that was new. And I was like, wow, there's this movement of other people who like consider animals, and it just was this whole thing, and so I was thrilled to know that there was this movement of people who believed and saw the world the same way that I did, but then I found out that they didn't value what I did, and that was really hurtful, and I found out from them that my work isn't effective. That not my work specifically, but that community-based activism is not an effective form of activism. I found out from them, but that was not my experience at all. You know, from the first time that I put myself out there and went to this community center and knocked on the door and said I want to do a plant-based cooking demonstration. From that first act of activism all the way through until like yesterday. I have just connected with thousands upon thousands upon thousands. I mean, it's just so many people I don't even know, and have had countless people say, like, either to me or, you know, through some kind of comment or message or, you know, whatever, through somebody else, that this work changed their lives for the better. And so I've heard it over and over and over and over and over again. And I have felt like the only thing that's holding me back from reaching millions of people is just that I don't have a platform to reach millions of people. You know, I just, people want this information and people are moved by this information. And it, how on earth could anybody look at like a track record like mine or like all these other activists across the country and across the globe and say that it's not effective? I just can't. It was starting to smell a little bit like racism, Lori. I'm not even.
It's capitalism and racism combined together, and to become, as you say, plain and simple. At the end of the, that's what that is, and it is also a certain kind of entitlement. And of course, we're always up against that entitlement, but it's always so difficult to really accept that people who are allegedly compassionate are going to also make the compassion narrow, and it's going to be very specific. And but I have to just tell you, I think that you are, if anybody wants to measure anything by effectiveness, then there's a question about whether that's how we should measure things. But if we do want to measure things by effectiveness, here is Brenda Sanders talking about Plant Bliss, talking about the Greener Kitchen, talking about Vegan Soulfest, talking about the Afro-Vegan Society, doing the writing and the outreach that you're doing. I mean, I can't even picture a better model of how everybody from 5 years or 11 years or however old they are grow into it. And hopefully our book will really start a conversation that helps people to see. And there's a number of, I think, really important interventions that are and many of the interventions are critical of the assumptions of this movement that's directing funds in one direction towards quote unquote corporate campaigns, not directing them to community activism and community outreach. And I hope we'll change that. We have to change that. And your voice is so important in that work.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited about this project. I have actually been asked to contribute to anthologies and before, and I never really felt as moved as I did when I found out about this particular project, because I was just like, this speaks to me personally. Like, it speaks to my personal experience of basically having my work be devalued by people who don't even have the slightest idea what my work is and why it's so important and why it's vital.
It is so vital. It is so vital. So hopefully the book will get out there, and that will maybe not get you the 1 million people, but the platform will increase. And if you write more, which I'm really hoping you'll do, that'll also increase your platform.
Yes. And I have a few people, including yourself, who have, and I'm not going to let you forget that you have promised to do some, some editing work, because I actually am working on a book. And I don't talk about it a lot because it's just the best book. And so I don't want anybody to beat me to it. But you and a few other people have offered to just look at it and
I'd be totally honored to do that. Totally honored.
And I'm totally going to take you up on that. So thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this project. I'm so excited about it. I'm so honored to be like the opening essay. It's such an honor. And
hopefully, one of the other things I'm really hoping with this book is that in addition to, activists reading it and it becoming a source of pushback against this growing movement that wants to, this growing kind of movement of exclusion in a way. I'm hoping our book will push back on that, but I'm also hoping that, like me, I'll be teaching it in classes, and students who are budding activists will start thinking, and you'll be coming around talking to budding activists, young people, and all across the country, and maybe even in other countries. And I think that would be awesome. Awesome.
Absolutely. Especially if they are going to pay me to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's do that.
always. You should definitely get paid to come. Happy birthday, lady.
Thank you. So you heard it from Lori. You heard I am writing, and I'm pretty good at it, I think, according to her. Yes. And
Hey Brenda, it's Tracy McWhorter, founder of 10 Million Black Vegan Women and By Any Greens Necessary. And I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday and a very happy 25th Vegan anniversary. Congratulations, girl. That is incredible. You know, I call you the hardest working woman in veganism, and that is true. I and we are truly grateful for all that you have done for us over these last few decades to grow and expand our vegan movement. It would not be the same without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work that you do. And I wish you another 25 years of vegan anniversaries. Much love to you. Thank you. Bye.
It's the tree.
Everyone, if you turn on your video, you'll hear.
Oh, I can say what I said in the video. Okay. I'm Pattrice Jones from Vine Sanctuary, which is an LGBTQ-led refuge for farmed animals that is always in solidarity with any project that Brenda Sanders organizes or has anything whatsoever to do with. All of us here at the sanctuary not only respect, but feel affection for you. And then I wanted to make sure I could sign in case you couldn't play the video, so that I could tell you that I personally love you that I am delighted that you exist, that I'm always happy anytime I see you. I'm always delighted anytime your name pops up on my phone because you want to chat. And I am just thrilled by your existence. And so I had to wish you a happy birthday. And I had to wish you also a happy Veganniversary.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You know that you are one of my favorite people, and I want to put this out there publicly, that next month is wide open. It just so happened that the month of July is wide open. You have
all right, you come on up.
It's happening.
Okay.
It's really happening. Look, I know I said May. I know I said it.
No,
all right.
and last May and the July before and the April before that, and I don't even know how many times. Okay, July is gonna happen.
I know.
Okay, we need to see you.
Yeah.
Well, you need to be here for a while.
I do. I absolutely do. That is so true. With all the health challenges that I've been having, I've found that just walking on grass, being around a tree helps so much. And I think you have grass and probably a few trees.
More than a few, yeah.
So it's happening. It's happening. And they heard it here.
Yeah.
They
And
heard it.
Lori Kim, you're not far at all. You come up sometime too.
Lord Kim. I'm so happy. I'm so pleased. I mean, y'all are soldiers. I mean, well, not soldiers. But just very strong and patient people, and I so appreciate you all for hanging around for this, so that I could see your faces. Hi.
I have to tell you happy born day on the born day and happy Veganniversary on the Veganniversary. You are a light and a treasure in the world. I'm grateful to know you as a person. I'm grateful for your presence and your being. I'm grateful for all the amazing work that you've done. I'm more than grateful for all the space that you're going to create in the future. And just thank you for this life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Simone. It's Simone, right? Am I saying your name right?
Simone.
Okay. Hi!
I have to say hi on my behalf and on behalf of the Brazilian contingent of fans and Brenda Sanders, people who are inspired around the world. I know for sure in Brazil and many other countries. You do so much that you didn't mention that you were in a Brazilian conference, although online, in November for the Union of Vegan Activism. And I just wanted to tell you again how much people appreciated your talk, felt connected, felt inspired, want to come and visit you and want to have you over in Brazil. So I hope I've moved back when you come and visit, so we can all host you there. Thank you, and have a wonderful new year, a wonderful new rotation around the sun. The earth is a better place because you're in it, Brenda. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Obrigada. Feliz aniversário.
I only have a vague idea of what you said from a few years of Espanol.
Close enough.
Thank you. But I don't want to hold folks up any longer because it's late. It's pretty late. It's pretty late for me. So thank you all so much. This has been recorded. Hopefully it's okay with everybody, but I want this video to be available for anybody who wants to watch it. So thank you all so much. It's been wonderful. And I will talk to all of you soon, I hope. Bye-bye.